Hello guys, good day. This is Anne of Reinforcement Club, your fellow positive reinforcer. Today we're going to talk about problems. Why problems are the secret ingredient to a stronger you. Why problems are necessary in our life. As long as we're alive. I remember way back before when I was younger, the teenage life. I told my dad, look, Dad, I don't like problems. I don't want to have problems. And you know what he told me? He said to me, look, we need problems in life. We need problems. Whatever we do, it's going to be part of our daily living as long as we're alive. And that time, I couldn't understand why my dad would ever say that. Because it's nice to have a life without problems. And the way there are things that in our younger age, we couldn't hardly figure out what's really going on about life. We're still at this stage of learning. I couldn't forget that because, my dad, he's a single parent. He raised me with my cousins and aunts. It's just an extended family. But he worked hard for me, though. And I can't believe that, I feel sorry for my dad because he got problems along the way. That's why I told him I don't like problems, Dad. But then I got curious that time because why would he say that? He's having a hard time. And then now at this point in my life, then I'm over 30s, I finally understand why. Now, problems can actually make us stronger. Better, wiser, smarter. We can able to get success beyond imagination by solving problems. The reason why problems, makes us stronger because primarily growth hides in struggle. Life's problem act as a resistance training, for your mind and character. Imagine if you go, when you go to the gym, you stress yourself a little bit by lifting some weights, doing cardio, and those little, stress actually makes your body stronger, healthier, and makes you much alert, active, and it enhances your immune system. And that also, the essence of the problems in life. Without problems, there's no need or reason to stretch your limits. There's no need to learn, adapt, or whatsoever. Problems create friction that sparks growth. And no one, no matter what you do, no matter what I do, no one is ever exempted with problems. Life will always going to throw you some stuff, while you're still alive. Even though you avoid problems, that's also a problem. It's funny though, but problems also shape your identity in a way that every obstacle you overcome, it becomes part of your story. Obstacles, adversities, they test your patience, creativity, and resilience to get back, get your act together, what you should be done to solve the problem. And when you solve problems, you come out stronger, wiser, and confident in who you are. That's how amazing problems are. But when you are in trouble, even myself, sometimes it's not exciting at all. But let's just take it as it is. It is what it is. Problems also unlock your hidden strength. You wouldn't know your capabilities until you're forced to face something hard, something unexpected. Problems push you to discover your strengths, your talents, and it also gives you better perspectives and leave those obsolete ideas behind. You have to update your knowledge, learnings, according to the present. And these things, new ideas that sparked in the midst of struggle, you thought you never had them. This is something new. And it actually makes you proud. And it reveals, problems reveals your resourcefulness and courage that comfort never will. When you're comfortable, you wouldn't try any harder. But in the long run, comfort messes you up in a way that when life throws you something and you're not used to it anymore, you're not used to problems, and you're not that strong. It makes you stressed out, makes you anxious, it makes you recoil because you're not used to problems, and you choose not to solve problems. You choose to stay away. So it's actually, problems are two-edged sword. It either makes you stronger, wiser, better, or makes you recoil. Your body, you let your body solve the problem in ways of anxiety, depression. So you got to pick your battles. Problems also creates opportunity. Think about it. Even AI these days, inventions, businesses, and even our very own personal breakthrough comes from solving problems. Challenges inspire solutions, and solutions create growth, progress, and success beyond imagination. See, we never have any AI before in like 1900s, 1920, and the world progresses itself because people are getting better. People want something new, solutions, curiosity. That's how amazing life is. Our brains seem to be unstoppable in doing that. Innovations, big businesses, even phones, they solve problems. Everything starts from problems. Even big success, whether it's personal or business or professional, it starts with problems. And those problems become inspiration. And without problems, though, life would be empty. Like, think about it. Imagine if everything is predictable. And then, you just go home and work, and sometimes you question yourself, what is missing? Because we're actually built that way. We're actually built to grow, to reach out for more. And to be honest, our brain is built that way. And if you ask me why is it built that way? Well, there are things that I could just beyond my imagination. There are many theories why our brains are built that way, from Stone Age until this era of AI. From Stone Age, that you have to cook, make your own fire, discover fire, to something that you can just order your food on the phone. You don't have to hunt, somewhere in the forest. In this generation, you just have to call a takeaway, a food delivery. From hunting to a little bit of hunger, if you can find any animals way back then in Stone Age, to just one call away and you're going to get your food. That's how amazing it is. Problems have been solved in many different ways, many different lucrative ways. Problems, in contrast, without problems, life is empty, no meaning, predictable, boring. And with problems, our joy becomes sweeter. Our success becomes, feels much rewarding. And without solving problems, we wouldn't imagine how valuable peace of mind is. So, in other words, problems are not roadblocks. They're a stepping stone that shapes resilience, builds character, and transforms people into a stronger version of themselves. So I hope I shared something valuable today. If you ever love this episode, you can share this to your family and friends. You can follow me in YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, and even in X, Reinforce Me Club. By the way, this is Anne, your fellow positive reinforcer. I do appreciate your time, and have a lovely day ahead. Thank you.